Welcome back, children. Once again, this is Ansu here. This time we will be seeing the third part of tables in MS Word. Today we will be discussing about modifying rows and columns and formatting a table. Modifying rows and columns. We can make changes in the rows and columns of a table based on the data we want to enter in them. That is, if you want to enter large amounts of data into a part of a table, then you need to extend the size of the cell, right? For those purposes, modification is possible in both rows as well as columns. Splitting and merging cells. New rows and columns are added when more data needs to be entered in the table. If you want to enter more data in between the given tables, then you can always do that by entering new rows and columns. For making a complex table, Word provides features like merge and split to create a more complex table. It is also possible to join cells together or split cells together as per your requirements. Merging means joining cells together and splitting means changing one single cell into two cells. Okay? Merge. Merge is a feature that allows you to merge or join two or more cells to combine them into a single cell. You can join two or more than two cells together and combine it into a single cell. This feature is often used to provide tiles to multiple rows and columns. If you have a lot of rows and columns, this helps to create tiles for that is a sidebar like this on the side. This merge is a tile. You can put it as a tile here. So it helps to create tiles when you have a lot of rows and columns. The cells to be merged need to be adjacent to each other. That is, if you want to join two or more cells together, it should be lying close to each other and it will be easy for joining as well as it. You cannot join the first cell and the third cell. You can join one and two together. You can select multiple cells adjacent to each other in a row and column and merge them to create a single cell. You can select a lot of cells together which are very close to each other in a row as well as a column and then create a single cell. To merge cells, what are the steps to do to merge cells? Select the cells to be merged. Click the layout tab. You need to click on the layout tab. You have to select which all cells you want to merge or join together and then you have to click the layout tab. From the merge group, click merge cells. The selected option will be merged, forming a single cell. When you click on merged cells option in the layout tab, you will be able to join these cells together. The next feature we need to discuss is splitting. The split feature allows you to split or break cells into multiple smaller cells. You can make one cell into two cells or more than two cells depending on how many spaces you have selected. You can select multiple cells to split. To split cells, select the cell or cells to be split. Click the layout tab. You need to click on the layout tab. First you have to select the cells, then you have to click on the layout tab. From the merge group, you have to look again in the merge group and this time you have to use the split cells option. The split cell dialog box appears. Enter the number of columns and rows required. You have to write how many rows or how many columns you need. Then click OK. The selected cells will be split as specified. Formatting a table. Sometimes a cell, row or column needs to be highlighted. You need to highlight a few. Highlight means to make it a little more viewable, to make it a little more darker. Okay, so if you want to do that, To enhance the appearance, a variety of borders and shading styles can be applied. You can either change the border of the thing or you can apply different types of shadings to it to make it more presentable. How to apply a border? Select a cell, row, or a column. You can either select one cell or a row or a column. Then click on the Design tab. You need to click on the Design tab. From the Table Styles group, click the down arrow of the border option to expand the list. The drop down list appears. You have to select the cell, row, or column. Click on the Design tab. From the Design tab, you have to click on Table Styles, and in that a drop down arrow comes. You have to click on the Border option. Click the Borders and Shading option. The Borders and Shading dialog box appears. From the left pane, click the Setting for the border. From the middle pane, select the style, color, and width of the border. The right pane will give a preview of the border and click OK. It's very simple. You have to first select the cell, row, or column, then go to Design tab. In that, there is a Table Styles group. In that, you should look for borders, and when you expand, you will get borders and shading option. The dialog box appears. On the left pane, you can set the settings. In the middle pane, you can give the style, color, and width of the border, and on the right pane, it will be shown to you how it will look like, and then you can press OK. The border appears. To apply shading, select the cells, row, or column. Click the Design tab. From the Table Styles group, you have to go for the Shading option and expand the list. The color palette appears. Select the required color. The selected row or column shows the color shading. If you want to apply a color shading into the table in certain columns of the table, then this is what you need to use. You have to select those columns. Then you have to click on the Design tab, and in that there is a Table Styles group. In that there is a shading option. Then from that you have to select the color palette, the required color you need, and when you click on it, the color will be given in those columns. Changing row height and column width. Sometimes the data to be entered in a row or column might need more space than the space defined for it. If you are having large amounts of data to enter into a column, it may not fit into the one that you have already created. Word allows you to change the height and width of the column to fit the contents. So, when the length of the content is more and it does not fit on the table, Microsoft Word allows you to change the shape of the width and height of the column to fit the contents. How to change the row height. Select the required row. Click the Layout tab. From the Cell Size group, click the arrows in the Height spin box to get the required height. The row height changes. You need to first select the row. From that, you have to go to the Layout tab. Click the Cell Size group. In that, the Height spin box appears. In that, you can give the required height. The row height changes. To change the column width, again you need to select the required column, go to the Layout tab. In the Cell Size group, you can find the Width spin box to get the required width. The column width changes. You can also manually type the required height and width in the height and width spin boxes respectively. If you have a specific width in your mind, you just don't need to press on the up and down arrows. You can just write the number in the respective boxes also. With this, we come to the end of today's presentation. Please go through these contents and understand the concept. Thank you.